Now, from WNYT, this is Forum 13.
Good morning, I'm Phil Bayley. Thanks very much for joining us on Forum 13. A summer camp for kids who don't want to forget their Korean culture. And then we're going to talk about, in fact, we're going to get you up to speed on the Relay for Life. But first of all, the United States is their home. We all come from somewhere. They come from Korea. Camp Mujigae is a way for Korean American kids to keep in touch with their roots. We're joined by, let's see, the camp director, Heather Murphy, and assistant director, Kathleen Duda?
Yes.
All right, and also, Heather, you have been an attendee at the camp.
Yes.
And Kathleen, you have a child who's gone to the camp.
Yes, my daughter's been 11 years this year.
Terrific. Thank you both very much for joining us. First of all, tell us, well, you know what, as a camper, we're going to start with you, Heather. As a camper, I mean, what goes on? What do you experience at Camp Mujigae?
Well, I think, like, I was born in 1981, and I was adopted when I was 7 months old. And I know back in the early 80s, Korean adoption was a very new thing. And so Camp Mujigae was a really great opportunity to just be around other Korean adoptees and to learn a little bit about the heritage and a little about the culture. And so that's what it continues to be today.
How much did you know? How much, I mean, you were in the United States okay. And so you go to Camp Mujigae. How much do you know about Korean culture?
You know, I was very lucky. My parents knew other people who had adopted from Korea, but really we didn't have a lot of, say, Korean American friends. So really to go to camp, learning about Korean cooking, learning Korean language, music, I mean, that was a really great opportunity to, you know, to kind of understand what it was to be Korean.
Was it the first time you were surrounded by that many Korean children?
Yes. Definitely.
Interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, it was, and it you know, it is something to look forward to every summer. You know, a place where, you know, I grew up in Colony, and, you know, I'm a minority within my family, and I'm also a minority within the community. But at Camp Mujigae, I'm part of the majority, and that's a really great experience. It's something very different. And
you were inspired because you were there as a camper. You have been there as an adult. So how many years have you been affiliated with Camp Mujigae?
I mean, on and off, but for the past 30 years, I've been involved. So, you know, after being a camper, I was a counselor for many years, and then I was a counselor coordinator. And last year was my first year as being a director. And my son, who is 18 months old, he also attends the camp as well. So, and it's great. Kathleen,
Camp Mujigae means Camp Rainbow?
Means rainbow, yes.
All right. Yep. So how many children come to camp? Where do they come from?
Oh gosh, well, when camp started 26 years ago, there was 25 children, just run by a few parents. And today we serve up to 300 campers from birth to age 18. A lot are from the capital region, but we have families from, you know, out west of us and the city and Connecticut we have. So it's a great opportunity for families in the tri-state area to come.
Is it a unique concept, a summer camp for Korean American kids?
Well, there are several, you know, camps for children, but we have to boast that ours is really one of the biggest and most celebrated, I think, in this area.
Also, ours is overnight for the older teenagers, and a lot of the other programs, I believe, are more day camps.
Yeah.
Someone in the Korean community told me they believed that the camp really was for adoptees, for children who were adopted, Korean children who were adopted. Is that so, or can any Korean children go?
Anyone can come, Korean, not Korean, anybody who's just interested in learning more about Korean culture and Korean heritage. But the majority of our campers are Korean adoptees, though, you know, we've been working with the local Korean American community, like the Korean Presbyterian Church of Albany, for, you know, the last 30, you know, years essentially, and you know, so now a lot of those people who have children and now their children are having children, they're sending their children to camp because, you know, they are removed from more of the Korean heritage and the Korean culture because they've been living in the United States for so long. So we are seeing a growing population in our camp of Korean Americans who are not adopted.
And also, I have 2 biological sons as well that are older than my daughter, and one of them serves as a counselor. And we do have a lot of siblings of the Korean adoptees that come and attend classes to learn, so you don't have to be a Korean adoptee.
Is the capital region a good community for Koreans? A good size? Is there a good-sized population of Korean Americans?
Yeah, I think the Korean American community here is very active, and I think that within that they're very supportive of the Korean adoption community as well. So, you know, Parsons Child and Family Center, which used to have an international adoption program and used to place children from Korea, they still do a lot of post-adoption services, and we have our camp at Parsons, which they let us use for free during their school break. But, you know, because there's so many adoption support services as well, I think that by working with the Korean American community, it is a really great place to you know, where you have an opportunity to meet other adoptees, to learn more about Korean culture. So it is a really strong area for that.
Is the Capital Region a better community than some others in the country? I mean, is it a particularly strong community for Korean Americans?
The only experience that I have personally is a couple of years ago we went to Virginia to a Korean culture camp, and they have a very large Korean community, so that's really the only experience I have, and that was great. But I don't really know of any, I haven't experienced any other area.
I think what's nice about the Capital Region, I think, is that, you know, there's a large international adoption community. So, you know, even though some of our campers come from pretty rural areas, you know, I think international adoption is no longer such a unique thing. And so I think that people feel more comfortable with who they are in their families, and with their ethnic identity.
Yeah. So how, the camp has been around, so what, 30 years? Because you said you had been going there 30 years.
It's about 26 year, yeah.
Yeah. How old do you have to be to go to the camp?
Birth.
Really?
Baby.
Just be born.
Yeah, we have a program for our Rising Stars, which is babies up to age
5, going like
going into kindergarten, before they go into kindergarten, and each level of camp goes up from there.
So you have different age groups?
Yes.
And camp lasts how long?
It lasts lasts for about 3.5 days for the oldest campers.
Each camper?
Well, the older campers sleep overnight in dorms, and our younger campers have day programs. And then to close camp, we have a family day, which is just a tremendous, tremendous day for everyone. Anyone in the community can come.
So if my child goes to Camp Mujigae, how will it differ from another summer camp that they might go to?
I mean, it's a lot of the same things in terms of, you know, making friends, you know, just doing different activities, but the activities are all centered around Korean heritage, Korean culture. So taking Taekwondo, learning about Korean cooking, learning about Korean history, music, dance. We're also very lucky that over the past couple of years we've had some college students from Sukmun Women's University in Seoul who have come. There's about 16 students who've come each year. They provide programming as well, and they have a lot of programming about sort of modern Korea and some of like the things going on in Korean movies, Korean pop culture, and so that offers a lot of opportunity too. So it, you know, it's a summer camp, all the same things except just focused on Korea.
And the campers think the college kids from Korea are really cool?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Folklore, right? That's part of it?
Yep.
All right. And the crafts, when it's crafts, it's Korean crafts?
Yep.
Yes.
You're a nonprofit?
Yep.
Okay. Camp largely run by volunteers?
Entirely run by volunteers.
How do you get your funding?
But mainly through just the registrations, and you know, we do some fundraisers. We try to do them throughout the year, but we really rely on a lot of the Korean American community to come and help support us. And so a lot of the local Korean churches have been really great in donations and providing all the cultural classes, because we in the adoptive community, we handle the registration aspect of camp, but in terms of all the classes and programming, that's done by the local Korean American community.
And if somebody wants to donate to your camp or to your organization, how can they find you?
We have a website, mymujigae.org, and you know, just go on the website and contact one of us, and we'll be happy to let them, you know, let people know how they can donate either time or money.
We also have different levels of corporate sponsorship. If people want to sponsor a class or an activity, we'll certainly provide advertising for that company and brochures and signs outside of the class too.
We're going to provide a link on our website too, so people can find Camp Mujigae very easily. So go to wnyt.com. and take a look at the upper right-hand corner of our website, and you'll see news links. Click on that, and you'll find Camp Mujigae. Do you have fundraisers coming up you want to plug?
We're in the process of planning a bunch of them. So,
Yeah.
and that's kind of so we're in process. So just check on the website for updates.
Okay.
But we like to kind of gear up for camp, which is going to be June 27th to June 30th this year.
All right, June 27th to
June 30th.
June
so it's
30th.
Wednesday to Saturday, and Saturday is also our family day. We conclude with a big.
So all the age groups are within those 3.5 days?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. June 27th through June 30th.
Yep.
All right, and you can
Come
sign up
join
on your
us
website.
June 30th.
What's that?
Come join us on Family Day, June 30th.
All right, and do you need volunteers?
We always need volunteers.
Yes.
Always. Definitely. So
great.
if anyone's interested, if anyone even has just a couple hours during camp or even before to help us set up, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Is there a cost associated with camp?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, there's registration fees, and they're different for each level of camp. Our younger campers aren't overnight, so I think they're on the website as well. Like the younger campers, the Rising Stars, they're just there for a couple of hours and join us for Family Day. And then each level of camp is a different fee.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Can you at all express or capture? I mean, what you were so young when you started going to Camp Mujigae, and what it meant to you, what kind of impression it made on you as you were growing up?
Well, I think that, for me, it was always just this place where I felt really at home. And I think that that is kind of like always a theme, is that, we're always part of our families, especially as adoptees. We're part of our families, we're part of our larger communities. But when we come to camp, we really reconnect with our birth country. And I think that's great. And I think, for me personally, also meeting other adoptees who are older and to kind of just, learn from them and their experiences, it helped me become more confident in who I was and more confident in my identity as a Korean American.
Also, I would just like to say that it's a beautiful transition, because as camp has evolved, we now see Heather, who is our director. So it's gone from being run by parents to adoptees who really had such a good experience. It was so meaningful to them that they want to come back and run camp and share their memories and experiences with the younger campers. So I think it's a very special camp.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Heather Murphy and Kathleen Duda, thanks very much with Camp Mujigae.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on Forum 13. We are going to take a break, and then we are going to be right back, and we will talk about the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life.